Okay, I'm going to do two more problems. These tend to be the more difficult problems, and therefore students get stumped on them. Notice I have to distribute. The reason I have to distribute is because I have a term on the outside and then different terms on the inside. This was the whole purpose of the distributive property. I can't combine 4 minus 2x plus y because they're all different terms. Okay? They belong to different teams. So I have to distribute. I have to say 2x times 4 minus 2x times 2x plus 2x times y. And then I'm going to distribute the negative 5x to each one of these terms, doing the same thing. I have a negative 5x times y squared. I have distribute the negative 5x to the positive x. And I have the negative 5x to the negative y. Notice I didn't write the plus x, you can just write x because it's assumed that it's positive. Okay, now let's solve. I solve my coefficients. 2 times 4 is 8. It's on the x team. Minus, well, let's see here, negative 2 and a positive 2 is a negative 4. X times x is x squared because you're multiplying the x's. Okay, plus 2 times 1 is 2. X times y is xy minus 5 times 1 is 5. X times y squared is xy squared. Negative 5 times 1 is a negative 5. And x times x is x squared. And then negative 5 times negative 1 is a positive 5. Be careful with that. And x times y is an xy. You can only combine different terms if you're multiplying. And then you just push them together, unless it's the same term. Okay? Now, let's go back with our highlighter and highlight all the ones we have in common. And those are the ones we're going to combine the coefficients. I have a positive x, and that's the only one I have. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it as 8x. Excuse me. Now I have a negative 4x squared. I'm looking for all my other x squares. And a negative x squared. So I'm going to combine my coefficients. A negative 4 and negative 5 is a negative 9, and they belong to the x squared team. Okay, let's look for all the xy's. xy, well that's xy, but this is xy squared. They're a different team. They look similar, but they're a different team. Oh, I'm using green, aren't I? I meant to use blue. I have an xy, sorry about that, and an xy, so I need to combine those. And a positive 2 and a positive 5 is a positive 7, and they belong to the xy team. And the only one I have left is a negative 5xy squared. And now that I combined all my coefficients that belong to the same team, I am done. That's a very big answer, but it is your answer. Okay? Fractions. This is what I love about this next problem. Fractions. I go ahead and erase some of this. Okay. Let's write it out. I need to distribute the 5/6 times 3/10 and 5/6 times 12. And that's saying 5/6 times 3/10 plus 5, 6 times 12y. And since I'm dealing with fractions, I'm going to put all whole numbers under 1. Okay? Minus. Okay. I can cross cancel by dividing a numerator and divisor by the same number. 3 goes into, I meant to do that in red. 3 goes into 3 once. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Now I can divide 5 and 10 by the same number. 5 divided by 5 is once. 10 divided by 5 is 2. And then I multiply across. 1 times 1 is 1. And 2 times 2 is 4. Plus, I forgot to put the x there. Okay, x. Now, I can't cancel the 5 and 1. I can cancel the 6 and 2 by dividing both by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 12 divided by 6 is 2. And then I multiply across. 5 times 2 is 10 over 1. That is 10y. Now let's take a look here. Get my green pen back. I'm going to multiply negative 1/4 times 2x and negative 1/4 times a negative 3y. So I have a negative 1/4 times 2x. Remember, I'm going to put that over 1. And a negative 1/4 times a negative 3y. You'll see in a second why I didn't put anything there. Okay. I can cancel the 2 and the 4 as long as one's in the numerator and one's in the denominator. I can cancel them because they can be divided by the same number. So 2 divided by 2 is once. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. And 2 times 1 is 2, and it belongs to the x family. Now, I can't combine, I can't cancel anything out here, so I simply multiply. 1, negative 1, negative times a negative is a positive. 1 times 3 is 3, and 4 times 1 is 4, and that belongs to the y family. Now I can combine like terms. Where's my highlighter? I have a 1/4 x and a negative 1x, 1/2 x, and 1/2. Remember, in order to add or subtract, they have to have the same denominator. This stays the same because I'm using 4. The only one I'm changing is the bottom. 2 times what equals 4? That's times 2. So therefore the top is times 2. It's technically 1/4 minus 1/2. 1 minus 2 is a negative 1. And the denominator is 4 and the variable is x. Okay, I think a lot of you would have rather said 1/4 minus x minus 0.5x, and they'll give you the same thing. Okay, now I have my y's. I have a 10y and a positive 3/4 y, and 10 plus 3/4 is a positive 10 and 3/4 y.